Shalom. All praises and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Bashim, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the others. A great millstone. Salutations to you, Wakim, that are teaching the truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. I want to get into a lesson about the downfall of Esau's kingdom, which is America, and the other heavens of Esau, which is Britain, France, etc., etc. Mainly here in America, this article goes into the topic right here. It says, even with low unemployment, borrowers are being rejected for car loans. Which, is off to finance a car anyway, because it just puts you in debt, and, that's not a good investment to go with anyway. It says right here, at the beginning of the paragraph, it says the government keeps telling us that the labor market is strong and unemployment is low. Yet regardless, borrowers are increasingly being rejected for vehicle loans while consumer debts continues to rise. And that's true. This society, man, you got unemployment going through the roof, man, and it's not being counted as unemployment because the many people that hasn't been employed or has been unemployed for many years, they're just out of the grid. They're not even counted for. So it's impossible to even think that unemployment is at an all-time low. And these jobs that they're saying they're bringing to America is all about factory jobs and low minimum wage jobs, and that really can't help feed a family of even a single child. Hell, you as an individual, you can't make money off of a low paying job. So Esau is steady lying to the public, but it's coming back to bite him, man, because evil should not dwell in the earth. It says a Federal Reserve Bank of New York survey of consumer credit released Monday showed a spike in the rate of auto loan rejections to 8.1% in October from 4.5% in the same month last year. That means they have almost doubled. It could be that borrowers are tapped out when it comes to debt. Market Watch reported that this lined up with a small dip in the unemployment rate. November saw a surprise dip in the U.S. unemployment rate to 3.5% from 3.6%, matching a 50-year low and fueling optimism that a strong American consumer can help keep the economy chugging along beyond its record 11th year of expansion. The reported rejection rates for credit cards, mortgages, and mortgage refinancing applications all declined compared to 2018. According to the Fed snapshot of its annual survey, which covers consumers' experiences when applying for auto loans, credit cards, credit card balance increases, mortgages, and mortgage refinancing. Now, beyond the decade mark, these years of easy money policies have allowed consumers to rack up debt in the wake of the Great Recession. Easy auto credit has fueled concern that U.S. household could be on the verge of yet another financing bubble. Only a few years after many borrowers emerged from the worst foreclosure crisis since the Great Depression. Consumers' debt is also still rising. It grew 4.8% in October versus a year earlier. However, some analysts at Bank of America Global Research see a more stable picture forming next year. We believe consumer debt will continue to grow, but the pace will continue to moderate, with exceptions for slower growth in consumer spending and relatively stable lending standards, wrote a team of analysts led by Chris Flanagan in a weekly note to clients. So America is just a big ball of debt, man. And the scriptures speak about that. And the Trump is going to start. Well, he's already closing out these welfare programs like SNAP. These car loans, student loans. All of these is adding up, man. Plus, it's wartime too. So Esau, he has in his mind to keep the ball rolling in his military might instead of helping the economy to grow, whether it be agriculture or manufacturing businesses, etc., etc. His plan is failing to the point that the bottom feeders, which are the poor and the so-called middle class, they are feeling it. We are feeling the heat from these trade wars and the debt of this society, which is America. And this is all prophecy of the Lord coming back. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And that's talking about Esau. Esau think he's upright. He's saying, oh man, we could turn this. Trump is saying we could turn this America around and make it great again, like the roaring 1920s and the 1800s. Really, in the 1900s, the beginning of the 1900s, they was striking gold, man, all over the world. It even lasts up to this point. And the government administration is feeding the public lies, man. Nothing but lies. The unemployment is out the roof. Just take a look in your city, in your towns in America. These shitty jobs, they're not paying nobody. Soup line kitchens is packed. People sleeping in cars and Walmart parking lots. America's finished, man. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, it cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's talking about Esau, man. He's spreading his lies everywhere, all over the world. China, Russia, especially China, which is the biggest debt holder for America, is steadily sending them material or items that America can't afford. And America, all it does is feed China and these other countries, especially China, which is the biggest trade partner with the U.S., is feeding those countries like that petrodollar, money of no value. But it's hitting home that America is going to be, or these other countries are going to stop treating America like a first class, world first class society, and we see it in this article. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that is increased, that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. That's what these other nations are doing. That's why, like I mentioned, the trade war with China, it's heating up, man, to the point that, you know, Americans are being rejected from car loans. Something simple as that. Now I'm gonna go to Baruch chapter 4. Verse 28, for as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. Let's talk about us, the Israelites, because we're coming to a time where Esau is he's going to use those legislations, those HRs, man. He's going to confiscate everything that you thought you owned, and that's pursuant to 2 Ezra chapter 16. He's coming through, invading your homes, taking all your goods, whatever you thought you owned. He's going to take it, and that's why the Lord is saying seek him 10 times more, because it's going to come a time where Satan coming down with great wrath, because he know he had for a short time. That time is now. Verse 29, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. And that's what the Lord is going to do. Because when this internet shuts off, there's no outlet of the truth being put out throughout the four corners of the earth anymore. Because the truth is being put out here by way of the internet, the unicorn, which is speaking about in the scriptures. Verse 30, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. And that's going back to Esau, man, from the times of the Greeks to the Romans, all the way up to the American Empire, which is the latter day Rome. Ever since they got us in slavery, ever since they took the land from the so-called Native American Indians, so-called Aztecs, so-called different tribes of the Northern Kingdom, Seminole Indians, and taking the so-called Negroes and so-called West Indies and so-called Haitians from the west of Africa and certain other parts, and put us over in these different lands to slave for them. Now the tables are being turned. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And a lot of these Edomites are heavily in debt. You know, they running that bill up due to the fact that America can't provide how they used to no more for them. Even I think Thomas Jefferson said it. You know, because those early founding fathers of America, they fought against the elite banking family, which, you know, that was their own kind too as well. The Rothschilds, the banking families of Europe, which America had to answer to and to get funds for to build up this nation. They was fighting against them to pay them back and to have their own currency to go out through America and to flourish and have, you know, the seeds of today that are the offsprings of the Americans back then that had us in slavery. You know, they wanted them to live a better life, but, you know, like the Most High said, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. So we being slaves over here and in the land of America and elsewhere where Esau is ruling, now is the tables are being turned. You know, and like I said, the founding fathers of you Americans didn't want it like this for y'all. You know, but they they was stupid them damn selves, and they was put up in power anyway. So what they owed, they couldn't owe back. That's why you had 2 years ago, I think, what was it? It's Jacob Rothschild. He said he sold some of America's assets. And then what you Americans get in return? Nothing. Because you don't own anything. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And you check out through all America, man. The America infrastructures and cities are run down. They look all the same. People are poor, sleeping in cars. Heavily debted college students, so on and so forth. The job market is not booming how it used to be. Why? Because America government is putting their money in war, in the military might. Because the heads of this country know that they have but a short time to get everything together to fight this war. So they're not putting back in the economy. So the citizens over here in this economy are suffering. Verse 33, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. And that's the times we're living in. We're living in the times that our enemies are going to fall, starting with Esau, the so-called white man, and these other nations too. The Arab slave trade, etc., man. Us being inhuman zoos. I wouldn't be surprised that we built that the Great Wall of China. Because you got to remember, Jake, we was spread throughout the whole world. It says right here, and her pride for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. And that's what we're seeing in this article. That's all you see, man. The government keeps telling us that the labor market is strong and unemployment is low, yet regardless, borrowers are increasingly being rejected for vehicle loans while consumer debt continues to rise. That's stress upon the people, man. All you got is bills, but you got a degree in a particular field that you thought you was going to be lucrative in, but come to find out you owe. You know what I'm saying? By the time you pay off the debt, you're going to be well of age to not even work no more. Then what? So the most high is bringing this hell upon our enemies again, and it's said it in scriptures too. It's Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 6. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy power with all thy heart. Now this is after the curses. I'm going to start from verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy power hath driven thee. And that's what we're doing, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. We're calling this back to mind, and we're putting it out on highways and byways through these videos on the internet, and in our own minds, man. Wherever the Lord driven us, and you can see countless of brothers pages throughout the world that follows the elders of Great Millstone, and you even have Nathan. They got they followers. Because they just push Israel at the end of the day. Even though their doctrine is not 100% like the apostles and elders, but Israel's doctrine is going out, man. The truth is getting put out in the four corners of the earth. And shall return unto the Lord thy power, and shall obey his voice according to all that I commanded thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power has scattered thee. And that's what he's doing. Remember, Revelation chapter 7, the angels are holding back the four winds until the elect being sealed. And as you can see throughout the news, YouTube is banning videos like this because they say it's too controversial. You know, the content is too harsh. But we know what they're doing really behind the scenes. They're getting rid of the men of the Lord, so the truth won't be put out there no more. And you know, when that happens, you know, then another prophecy is going to fall behind that. You know, because Amos chapter 8 verse 11 is in effect right now. And once that happens, a famine of the word, the ark is closed. Then you're going to have Jake willingly trying to seek the Lord, but it's going to be too late because the Lord going to push that perverse, dark spirit on this earth so Esau can do his wickedness, and then the Lord come back and destroy him. But before then, the Lord is going to do this. Verse 4, if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee, and the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And that's what's about to happen, man. Right now we scattered, but the Lord is gathering us together with this truth through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah. And we're just waiting on prophecies to be fulfilled. And once they be fulfilled, then we're going to do everything that the Lord just said in these scriptures right here that I just read. Verse 6, and the Lord thy power will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed. That's that second covenant. That's the new covenant that the Lord is going to do. He's going to put the laws in our inward parts so we won't never go off again. To love the Lord thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul, with that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And that's what the Lord's doing, man. That's what the Lord's doing. So I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Shah, Kwam the elect. You know, our time is here.